This chapter of Toriko just confirmed something, and that was Toriko has a third gourmet demon inside of him. So that entire chat around the table, when we saw inside of the back channel, we saw this demon that was talking to Toriko's blue and red demon, and its face was covered. Well, apparently, in this chapter, we get to see the leg, the same, colored leg of the demon we saw, which means that Toriko now officially does have a third gourmet demon inside of him. So right there, I know many are probably just hyped the fuck up. They're jumping for joy, and they're like, holy shit, we need to see more of this, because the third demon now has been officially confirmed in this chapter. So, well done. So, I can't wait to see exactly what this demon's going to be capable of and how it's going to be different from the others. But I will say this, however. This chapter, once again, was pretty damn hyped for many reasons. Because of the setup, along with the possibilities of the future of Toriko, along with getting to see a little bit more about knocking Master Jiro in his fight with the Wolf King, and then also seeing an Emperor Ring in this chapter, along with seeing Starjune and Toriko teaming up to make the Wolf King dodge. I mean, there was so much shit in this chapter that it was pretty damn intense. But I first want to talk about Jiro. Jiro straight up scared the shit out of the Wolf King in the past. Like, the Wolf King, the last time he really had to dodge or, really fight was when he kind of, fought Jiro. And when you see Jiro, and if you look at the quick panel, I want to point this out because I noticed when I was looking at the panel, because it took me a moment. I was looking at the panel like, that's knocking Master Jiro, because I remember they were talking about his, inner demon, how he's fucking strong, and all sorts of stuff about it, and I was like, wait a minute, that's knocking Master Jiro. The design of it and all that looks exactly like him. But then I was looking at in his hand, and you see, some form of horn-like structure in his hand. I want you all to take note of that. There is a horn, or some form of sharp object in Jiro's hand. Now, in the panel, when this chapter was discussing the Wolf King's abilities, of his sniffing capabilities, of how he can, dive into all matter and find out their DNA, their sex, gender, just everything. They could find out, or the Wolf King could find out anything, even about inorganic matter. That's pretty damn ridiculous. And in that scene where we're getting this info dump, there is a panel that shows the Wolf King's face. And if you look closely, one of the Wolf King's teeth are missing. His front tooth is gone. And if you look closely, when you see the flashback with Jiro and the Wolf King, you see some form of similar structure or item in Jiro's hand. And so that implies that Jiro's weapon that he's used in the past is the Wolf King's tooth. That's pretty fucked up, but that is pretty cool. I like how that was done. That was a little bit of awesome details throughout this chapter, I noticed. That is pretty cool. But the next thing to look into, though, is also what we saw in space. We saw the little meatball of Neo in space feasting on creatures. I don't know what to really factor into that, or what that really completely was, but this creature was in space. If you look behind, you see Saturn and all sorts of stuff, so it makes you assume that this is the creature that Jiro knocked up into fucking space. And if so, what does this mean? Because if you look closely, this creature's just hunched over and it's fucking eating, and you see a mountain of corpses behind it for some reason. There is a mountain of corpses. And if you look closely, the creatures are not human. They're not Neo. I want to point that out. If you look closely at these creatures in space, they're not Neo. They're not humans. They have horns or something. They look like actually Onis in some way, like demons, trolls, or whatever. And it makes you wonder what's going with that part. I mean, it makes you wonder, is this once again proving that this demon right here, that's slowly probably gaining power and getting stronger, eating things in space, is going to be a really big issue eventually? Because we already know there's massive foreshadowing about the entire planet or whatever getting eaten fucking alive. And so, what if, since we know eventually we might get a space arc, the possibility of it, this might be one of the main enemies in the future, because this thing is just devouring things in space. So I like, once again, more details in space, of hints at that. I mean, it's been happening every single chapter, and it's getting more and more obvious that we are getting an arc like that, just because of all these possibilities popping up. But back on topic, though, with the ability of the Wolf King when he was sniffing, his ability is pretty damn ridiculous, because he's able to find out all information of anything he sniffs in his radius. Now, of course, Toriko dives in and says Hercules is, inhaling and sniffing and stuff is so much stronger, but still, seeing how the Wolf King how strong his sniffing capabilities were, and finding out all this information was pretty damn ridiculous. Because, I mean, in a way, he kind of was telling Toriko and giving Toriko information about what is going on, and Toriko found out about the creature in space. So, it makes me assume there is a possibility that maybe the Wolf King is trying to notify that there is danger coming. We need to work together. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like maybe the Wolf King and Toriko and Star June are probably going to team up together in some way to combat Neo, like a common enemy, because Neo is that big of a threat. And since, you know, the Wolf King is that smart, that intelligent to know all this type of shit, it makes you assume that he's willing to join forces or something and be able to help out everybody to be able to take out something that is even stronger. Now, one thing I want to take note of as well is that Toriko and Star June was able to make the Wolf King dodge. They were that strong that they made the Wolf King actually dodge. The Wolf King doesn't normally dodge, but it dodged in this case, which goes to show you the power of Star June and Toriko. Now, of course, they're nowhere near that level of the, you know, the Beast Kings, but they're still strong enough to make one of them dodge. So I feel like that's one of the ways that the Wolf King acknowledged Toriko, and then, like, why he kind of even started probably trying to communicate with Toriko in the first place was because of something like that. But also, you have it to where, in this regard, we have it to where the power of Toriko and Star, what they did, when they slashed down with their combo, we got a big zoom out of the planet, and the entirety of the top part of the planet was fucking eviscerated with a giant blast. And I've said this before, and it's also been said in the manga, this planet is not gonna fucking survive all the damage it's taking. I mean, there's just so much shit going on right now with some of these powerful moves. I mean, for Toriko and Star June to be doing this type of damage, I can't imagine what's gonna happen when God appears. Like, when it finally appears and what's gonna happen with, you know, seeing how those fights are gonna go down, the planet's gonna get ripped in damn half. That's very obvious. Something like that's gonna happen if this shit continues. So, I mean, right now, very good stuff throughout this chapter. Pretty damn hype-inducing. Cannot wait to see what's gonna happen next. The reveals about the third demon, I think we're all pretty damn excited, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.